hail, intrepid viewers, and welcome back. Today's indie game is the Edgelands. Haven't played this before? Don't even recall how I picked it up, but we're gonna play it anyway. The House. On Steam, this is set in the real world, based on various folklore. You sit upon an unfamiliar bed in an unfamiliar room, taking comfort in the safe, dependable world of your computer. All is stillness and calm. The only sounds you hear are the restless creaking of the woods beyond your window, and the contented purring of your feline companion. Let us check email. A reassuring chime ushers in a fresh batch of unread messages. An email from homes@merkmail.com or events@marshlight.com. I care more about events, but I care more about Merkmail. So let's see if we can do both. Subject: welcome. Dear new tenant, we trust you will be appropriately comfortable and compliant in your new dwelling. Please familiarize yourself with the compendium of rules and proper conduct. Our underlings have placed your belongings in the basement. Please be hesitant in contacting us. Regards, Merktech Lettings. The events email. Local events. Dear auto-subscribed mailing list entity. Upcoming events for your calendar. Wassailing the wards in Greyleaf Copse. Full moon stone procession. Art exhibition at the Gallery of Umbral Dissonance. Please note, next Thursday's swine guessing is cancelled due to illness. Browse the internet. You idly wander online avenues from which toothsome orange faces leeringly urge you to click in their direction. Time passes. Click, click. An hour, maybe more. Click. Eventually, the digital trance subsides. Close laptop. Arrow keys to move, arrow keys to move. Turn off lamp. Do it. Okay. Look under bed. You see the dull glow of your phone, which appears to have slipped into the dust-drenched landscape beneath the bed. You reach down and pick it up, and for a moment, all feels right in the world. Leave. Not pick up phone. Just GTFO. Open. Cute little moths. Close. Oh well. I have something to close myself inside, but appears not to have been an option. Your buddy's left you. I'm sorry, little mothman. Examine. In a tarnished frame of faded elegance, you see a heavy, textured painting of a proud stag, so pale it almost glows. Walk on! Cute little mouse. Open the door. Ah, my favorite bathroom. I like the sound of this game a lot. Examine. A yawning bathtub, which has seen better days, crouches in the corner on little clawed feet. Look inside. A small but determined spider stalks the curved interior, searching for a means of escape. Rescue! You scoop the spider out of the bath and place it on the floor. It skitters away through a crack in the floorboards, bowing curtly as it does so. You're welcome. I hope that spider comes back to save me somehow. That'd be cool. Look! You see a hazy smudge of a mirror mounted on the wall in a plain wooden frame. Glimpses of your reflection ebb and flow, while other indistinct shapes lurk deeper in the foggy background. Is it a faux glass? I shall peer deeper. It is hard to distinguish between your faintly distorted features and residual murk within the shifting glass, but you catch fleeting impressions of black, feathery wings and falling leaves. Look away. You avert your gaze swiftly, a sense of relief tainted by the sensation that something unknown skulks beyond the glass. Free TP? Flush. Probably a good call to flush that apparently space toilet. I feel like I'm underwater, the way this character kind of is a... And press switch. Oh. What happened? There's a light here now. Did that clear up things? Flush again, I shall not. Perhaps I could not have discovered the reflection if the light was on. Although, I don't know what I discovered, quite frankly, but I'm glad I had the little interaction, because it was cooler than not having the interaction. Look! You see a murky painting in a shabby frame. A tower juts defiantly before a bright moon. Move on. Move on, lady. Don't fall on the stairs. Look at all the dust I'm kicking up. That shadow's a cool effect. That cat. looks kinda evil. A small chest rests on the shelf, the words "spare keys" scrawled tantalizingly across the front. Sure, open it. You try to lift the curved lid, but the chest is inevitably locked. Inevitably. Sure, I'll look. You stand before a heavy door, patchy paintwork peeling off in mottled chunks. A musty heat emanates from the keyhole. Musty Heat would be a great band name. The handle is warm in your hand. You give a hopeful twist, but the door is locked and remains unmoved. Is this whole thing going to be some sort of allegory for being awake and alone in a burning house? Fridge! Full of more cute rodentia. I'll leave you to it, I guess. Beautiful. Play my jam. Out of power, perhaps. The weather outside looks a little surreal. I guess I'll try this little door. A door, unremarkable apart from the presence of a cat flap in the bottom corner. You do not remember locking the door when you arrived, but it is presently unquestionably locked, and will not open. Squeeze through the cat flap. You dimly recall reading a story about druids who were able to shapeshift into the feral forms of animals, roaming woods and fields on eager paws, soaring dappled skies on raven wings. Sadly, it was just a story, and you have no access to shape-shifting druidic magics. Thus, the idea of you fitting through the cat flap is rather ridiculous. Well, excuse me for trying. You know, I try so hard. A moth-eaten rug, weathered by countless footfalls. Sure, look under it. Among the dust and fallen insects, you notice a dull bronze key, which you take. I'm gonna assume this key opens the chest of keys, because why make things simple? Unlock chest with key. The key fits snugly and turns the decisive click. The chest creaks open and a half-imagined fanfare trumpets joyfully in your head. Inside, you find a large rusty key, which you take. I assume the key is not for this door. Oh, I am wrong. Unlock door with key. The key goes in, the lock clunks, and the door yawns open. Hot, stale air wafts over you like the breath of an overexcited canine of unnatural size. Use door. I'm hoping down here gives me a key to out there. Also, I want to find that canine. He could be Buds. A teetering wall of cardboard boxes. How are they teetering? Only 2 of them are stacked. Looms in the shadows, a bedraggled obelisk of your half-remembered worldly belongings. Search. You pry back a few tattered flaps, revealing random assortment of crockery, tools, and old books, all wrapped in ragged newspaper. Idly, you pursue a few crumpled pages, bleak headlines about economic uncertainty mingling with Merktech-branded advertisements for Merktech-branded products. Ah, good old Merktech. Push. 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 Good enough? Good enough. A solitary book leans innocently against the wall, leather-bound and nameless. It appears to be an almanac of sorts written in a script you cannot decipher. Many pages feature drawings of plants and animals in a dark ink. Images of flora and fauna parade before your eyes. A foraging rodent, a grazing beast, a tree adorned with lanterns, malign thickets. Each picture makes uninvited thoughts whisper at the back of your mind, growing louder with each turn of the pages. The drawings grow more outlandish as you delve deeper into the book. Twisted black roots, a chateau with wings and antlers, a pale feline. The whispers grow and echo when you feel compelled to release your hold on the book, dropping it to the floor. The cover slams forcibly shut and you are left reeling, your mind silent once more. Can I push the box? It's giving me the option, but it's not letting me push. I want to push this box as much as I possibly can. And we're done. Let's check out this dancing little furnace thing. And these... Is this fart gas gonna kill me? The heat from the furnace is too strong for you to walk beyond this point. And off you go. An archaic furnace glowers here, all hiss and clatter. You cannot get very close to the fitful machine as the heat it churns out is overwhelming. The temperature is so feverish that the notion of interacting with the furnace is out of the question. You will require some sort of tool or implement if you want to have any dealings with the machine. I would love to have dealings with this machine, so I will acquire a tool or implement. What can... Search for tools. You randomly choose a box and begin to inside... Oh, this is new. It mostly contains power supplies, long since divorced from their more useful counterparts. You move on to another box and nestle deep underneath a stack of every utility bill you have ever owned and a small collection of seashells. You find a battered wrench, which you take. Battered wrench. Care to return the battering you have received upon your life? An archaic furnace, blah blah blah. Use wrench. You approach timidly, wrench wielded before you defensively. Latching on to a protruding handle, you strain and push as the furnace groans in defiance. After a few moments of sweltering struggle, the mechanism shifts with a metallic gasp and the fires in the furnace stutter and subside. Thanks. I'll take this. Suspended on a length of black twine is a small silver key which glints enticingly. You unhook the key and carefully place it in your pocket. Surprised I didn't wear it as a necklace or something. So what kind of keys have I encountered so far? There's the big brass key, or was it copper of some sort? That's the second key. The first key was smaller, I do not remember its make. But we'll use this key, I assume on the store. If not the store, then I'm out of ideas. Great. The silver key glides happily into the lock and turns with a gentle and enticing click. Outside, where nothing could ever hurt me. Is that cat falling in a hole? Oh no, it's licking itself. Okay, I'll check out the well. I don't know if I'm gonna go left or right first. You see a lopsided well made from mossy dark bricks. A lichen-covered rope dangles down into the dripping dark below. Pull the rope. The rope, though damp and rather slimy, is surprisingly strong. You give a few hefty tugs, but it feels like there is something heavy attached to the other end, which is beyond your strength to move. So I gotta get swole. New mission, I guess. Bolted to the side of the house is a battered fuse box, dejectedly spitting sparks. Your curiosity is rewarded with a view of tangled wires writhing and squirming. Several have wriggled free from their sockets and lash about fitfully. Driven by bravery, or foolishness perhaps, you confront the wiry nest. We can plug the obsidian wire into the ochre socket, the umber wire into the crimson socket, or the alabaster wire into the puce socket. I have a beef with puce, so we're not picking that. I like obsidian and ochre, I like umber and crimson. I'm gonna go with obsidian. You nimbly avoid any stray sparks and jam the wire into place. The fuse box shudders briefly, then settles into a satisfied hum. Walk away. Cool. We fixed the light. I wonder if our choice really mattered, or if any choice would have actually fixed the lights. I don't really care. That was just a good moment. I'm going left because the cat went right, so I assume left is a dead end. Just check out this house, and then we'll proceed right. A makeshift arrangement of planks and metal forming something which could loosely be described as a shed. The darkness within the ramshackle structure is dense and chittering, and you are unable to delve too deeply into the musky interior. You do notice a very faintful carved symbol just above the entrance, which resembles a pair of curved antlers. Oh. I do so hope we get to meet the Lord of the Hunt. One of my favorite deities. Deities? Beings of power. We'll go with that. Although I do think deity probably applies. It's not outlandishly unapplicable, certainly. Inexplicable? Inexplicable. Unapplicable. There we go. Thanks for waiting for me, cat. What is this? A dull stone pedestal is attached to the wall. On the top are a multitude of irregular-shaped buttons, each bearing a different symbol. Look for antler symbol. You study the clustered buttons until eventually you notice one adorned with a pair of curved antlers, which, with slight hesitation, you push it with a wary finger. For a moment, nothing happens. The garden seems suddenly overwhelmingly quiet, as if the air was holding its breath. Then, a loud and definitive clunk is heard from the direction of the gate. Nice clunking. You stand before a trail leading deeper into the tangled woods. Follow the trail, man. Stay here? What kind of option even is that? The woods. I like his music. I like those antlers. I like that owl saying, oh no no, nay nay nay. Hello, okay fine, flee. Oh, you're all walking with me. This is the sweetest parade of all time. I'm really liking this music, I don't know why. I don't know if it's appropriate for the mood, how jamming this music is. What are you, my friend? Our broken down robot. You stand amid the crumbled remnants of a ruinous structure. The damp ground is littered with crumbling brickwork and debris. In the corner sits a stack of abandoned office equipment, jumbled printers and photocopiers, and even a long, obsolete fax machine, balanced unsteadily, their dwindling batteries fueling muffled hums and faintly blinking lights. I'll examine them before searching them. You poke a few buttons and are rewarded with some decrepit clunks and wheezes, but beyond that, your search reveals nothing interesting. You carefully forage among the debris, nudging bricks and litter with a hesitant foot. There are a few hints of the past life of the ruin, just a scattering of plastics made vague by erosion and broken wiring that has long since shed its usefulness. Well, that yielded less usefulness than I wanted. And that's the same look as before. I want to leave. I'm not gonna research them. Oh, is that a different owl or the same owl who just teleported? I don't know. The party is still clearly pumping though. Oh, an old bus. With a bed and a briefcase. You see the skeletal shell of an old bus, which the woods are gradually enveloping in a mossy embrace. A crumpled pile of blankets is roughly arranged on the only remaining seat, and on a floor strewn with feathers and leaves sits a battered black briefcase. As you lift the surprisingly heavy briefcase, the corroded clasp gives away with a muffled grunt and the case gasps open. A swirl of paper flies out, dancing around you in a woodland breeze. You notice neatly typed documents, handwritten pages, a few tattered periodicals, and a grainy photograph of an unsmiling woman within the maelstrom. You grab a handful as they waft listlessly past your head. A brief glance shows dreary sales reports and a selection of pie charts in dull gray tones, all printed on thin paper stamped with the words Merktech Industries. One particular missive does catch your eye, however, a memo from head office. The page is damp and obscured by unwholesome stains, but the general sentiment concerns actions which need to be carried out in some regional Merktech offices as a result of productivity problems, low morale, and too much fresh air and exposure to the distractions of nature. As you read on, the breeze intensifies with a mournful howl, and the papers flutter upwards, anticipate up beyond the trees. Now there are multiple owls. Can I check out this hole in the tree? I can. A gnarled tree of considerable stoutness is here, primeval bark carved faintly with entwined geometric symbols, and the occasional scratchings of lovelorn graffiti. A dark hollow yawns halfway up the trunk. Look inside. The innards of the tree are dense with a darkness unwilling to disclose even the faintest hint as to what secrets might dwell within. Feel around. You ease a wary arm into the hollow. The air inside feels damp, and there's a sense of scuttling beyond your reach. Your hand brushes against something spindly and dense, before settling on a smooth, angular object. I want the spindly object. You carefully pluck the object from the tree and hold it gingerly between finger and thumb. It is a curious effigy of twigs and thorns, a small figure with beak and horns. As you stare at it, your mind drifts to thoughts of hidden streams and mossy nooks. A low creaking sound snaps you away from your musings, and you look up to see the hole in the tree has closed up. You drop the effigy in surprise, and no matter where you look among the knotted roots, you cannot find it again. Easy come, easy go, I suppose. Little high, little low. Why is that owl so yellow? It's a smog owl. Ah, friends. Surely, I will look upon you. You see the sorry flames of a meager campfire, tattered wisps of smoke trailing slowly skywards. Two gaunt figures sit huddled around the fire, their hushed murmurings trailing off to silence as you approach. That's fair. I too trail off to silence as strangers approach me from the woods. Their faces are obscured by dancing shadows, but their eyes gleam brightly and regard you with interest. One of them speaks in a thin voice like the far-off cry of a wayward locomotive.
Bit late to be out wandering the woods, stranger. Here, take one of these to keep you safe.
A bony hand extends, and in the calloused palm you see an aromatic sprig of some unfamiliar herb and a small pointed tooth. I will take the herb. You accept the offered sprig, and the other figure speaks with a voice deep like the tolling of an undersea bell. A fair choice. Just you crush that up with a bit of river water and slip it into your left shoe. Should be fine for... His words are interrupted by a forlorn feral cry from the nearby undergrowth. The figures exchange wary glances, then turn to you. What was that? A deer's bark or a raven's call. I'm gonna go... I do want to be the antler guy. Let's go with the antler guy. I like ravens quite a lot, though. I mean, who doesn't? They shuffle in the dwindling warmth and are visibly relieved.
Of course it was. This time of year couldn't be anything else. Well, time's getting on, and so should you. Just follow that path there, and you should be fine.
A hand waves towards the brambles in a sign you must not have noticed. Fruit path. A dim path winds away eastwards through the trees. Oh, east, a fell direction to be sure. The clearing. Well, that was approximately 22 minutes. I think we'll pick up in the clearing in the next episode. So thanks for watching, guys. Since your catchphrase.